What's going on, everybody? This is Jeff the Altcoin Buzz. So today we're going to take a look at Ripple, what's going on with the Ripple net, Ripple coin, what's driving the price. First and foremost, the thing that's driving this Ripple rise is news that's come out of Japan. And I've mentioned this in a couple news line items on our daily news telegraph that we do, but I'm going to mention it here again. It's coming from Korea, guys. This is the Korean won here on BitThumb. 38% of the volume is coming out of Korea. So I'm just letting you guys know that what's driving this Ripple price right now in this fairly calm sea of red that we're in is Korean won. Now I mention this because that's basically what I said on Twitter here, is the more you know. But in this interview here on Bloomberg TV with Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse, he discusses the company's big bet on blockchain technology. You can come onto our Twitter and watch this video here that was retweeted from the Ripple account here at Altcoin Buzz.io. But the big thing that we take away from all this is what he says in the interview is that they're selling the technology, the software to banks that basically makes it faster to make international transactions. Here's the big problem that international banking has. It is faster to hop on a plane from New York City to London and drop off the money yourself in person than it is to send a banking transaction. And he's saying basically, in a day and age of technology, that is not good, or that shouldn't be. Being that we're in the technology era, we should be able to send international payments globally fairly quickly. It shouldn't be faster to hop on an airplane and fly from New York to Tokyo and drop off the money in person and fly back and still beat the bank to the delivery, because that's just insane. So that's the utility of Ripple and RippleNet. And I know we've made a couple of videos about this, but let's talk about this. Today's payment rails don't cut it. In a world where 3 billion people are connected online, cars drive themselves, and appliances can communicate, global payments are still stuck in the disco era. Why the payment infrastructure was built before the internet with few updates. So he's saying basically this is why, right? So it takes 3 to 5 days to settle. It's expensive, $1.6 trillion in annual cost, unreliable, high failure rates, unacceptable. So Ripple is bringing the blockchain to the banking fiat world, right? It doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that we're selling out because we're going with Ripple, or we're investing in Ripple as a blockchain technology to kind of bridge the gap between fiat and cryptocurrency. That's not the point. So the blockchain and fiat coming together only legitimizes the use and the utility of the blockchain. So let's stick with that and not be so addicted to the idea that Ripple is selling out by coordinating with the banks. So in that transition, it'll show the banks the utility of blockchain, and more of that fiat world will have to bow down to the blockchain because they'll see the efficiency of the utility in the blockchain. And that's why I'm really excited about it. So I'm going to go ahead and play this video here.
Ripple, the global real-time settlement network. Consumers and businesses have new and increasing demands for cross-border payments. Ripple connects banks around the world and allows them to offer real-time cross-border payment services to their customers. Currently, cross-border transactions require many intermediaries to execute, so settlement takes multiple days. This often creates costs and risks that make it difficult to meet today's market demands. Ripple enables cross-border payments to execute directly between banks within seconds, and provides the banks end-to-end visibility throughout the whole process. Ripple is infrastructure technology banks can adopt to power new payment services like low-value retail and corporate payments. Let's see Ripple in action, enabling a person-to-person remittance use case. On the right-hand side, you see a bank's mobile app. On the left-hand side, you see Ripple powering the core processes to execute a cross-border payment. Alice, a bank customer in the US, logs into her mobile banking app. Her bank uses Ripple for cross-border payments. She wants to send money to Bob, who lives in Singapore. Bob's bank also uses Ripple. When Alice selects Bob as the recipient, Ripple allows her bank and Bob's bank to exchange sender and recipient information to meet risk and compliance requirements. This information is encrypted and exchanged directly between banks via HTTPS. No customer information ever touches the Ripple network. Alice wants to send $1,000 to Bob. Ripple queries the banks for their fees and the network for a real-time FX quote. Ripple packages this information to show Alice the total cost of her payment to Bob in Singapore. Thanks to Ripple, banks can provide customers an accurate total cost, delivery time, and delivery amount for cross-border payments, down to the cent, before the payment executes. After Alice approves the payment, settlement takes place over Ripple in 5 to 10 seconds. Simultaneously, Ripple triggers Alice's bank and Bob's bank to update their ledgers. As soon as the funds are posted into Bob's account, Alice is notified. Ripple solutions afford banks access to transact directly, speed transaction settlement to real time, trace funds end-to-end with certainty of delivery, and minimize the total cost of every transaction. With Ripple, banks around the world are already developing new payment products and services for real-time cross-border transactions. To learn more, please contact us at ripple.com.
All right. All right, guys. So you can see the utility in Ripple and how it's really just going to improve overall banking procedures, and they're going to use the blockchain to do it. And that's why people who've been invested in Ripple have seen the utility in it and the advantage to investing in Ripple. Right now, they've just closed a deal with the Japanese bank. They're one of the leading cryptocurrencies right now, whether you want to admit it or not. And it's possible they could even pass Ethereum here very quickly. And so the question is, how high can Ripple go? Well, I don't see why it's not realistic to assume that Ripple will not reach this market cap, okay? So if it reaches the Bitcoin market cap, it will be over $5, the current Bitcoin market cap. Now, I say that because it's not really that out of the realm of possibilities for Ripple to reach the current Bitcoin market cap in 2018 or 2019. I don't know exactly when it will get there, but because of the fact that it is now securing so many deals with a lot of banks, I'm not saying that it's going to pass Bitcoin, although it could, especially if it gets added to Coinbase. But what I am saying is that I don't see why it's not possible. I don't see why it's not possible for it to reach $240 billion market cap. So that would put it well over $5, guys. So the whole thing about will Ripple reach $5, I think it is possible, and I think it could happen in 2018 or 2019. And especially if it gets accelerated by being put onto Coinbase. Now, the reason is the reason I think this is because it's becoming friendly globally. Korean, just the fact that you have the US dollars already in it, and you have a lot of Korean won coming into it, it just shows me that there's a lot of room to grow with this market cap. Now, keep in mind, the circulating supply is going to end up filling into a total supply, so as this inflates, this price could be affected by that as the market cap continues to inflate. But if we just look at Ripple, I mean, you can see the Ripple market cap down here was, look at that, $211 million. Now it's at $55 billion. So the trajectory, the assumption in the trajectory, to see it go 5 times gains here, yeah, about 5 to 6 times gains here in the market cap from where it's been, it's realistic. So to suggest that Ripple could be $5, I mean, yeah, it's a very bullish projection, but based on the growth, I don't see why it couldn't happen. I mean, if we just look at Bitcoin's growth, Bitcoin had the same market cap as Ripple. We're just going off of historical charts here. We're not really trying to do anything too cute. We're just basically making, projections based on historicals. Bitcoin's market cap, when was it at the Ripple market cap? Yeah, Bitcoin had the Ripple market cap at in September. Okay, so Bitcoin was valued at $50 billion. Now it's been as high as 332 billion. Currently sitting at what, 239 billion. So what if Ripple got to the market cap of 332 billion? Right. Well, how high would it be? Well, it would be about an $8 Ripple. So maybe pushing even a $10 Ripple. A $5 to $10 Ripple in 2018 is very realistic. Now, I'm not personally buying any more Ripple because I've already taken out my position on Ripple back when it was really affordable. And I realized that most of you guys could be watching this video did not take out a position in Ripple when it was 18 cents or 20 cents or 25 cents. But my point that I am making is that if you're considering getting into Ripple and asking if it's too late, well, if you conclude that you believe that Ripple's market cap has a lot of room to grow, and you could see how Ripple could reach $5 or $8 or $10, then maybe it's a not so bad investment right now. So I'm just putting that out there. I mean, obviously, if it gets picked up by Amazon as a payment service solution, if it gets added to Coinbase, it'll obviously improve the price there. So there's a lot of factors at play here, and all I'm doing is doing what my job is, altcoin buzz. And I'm talking about Ripple because a lot of you guys have inquiries about things, and all I'm doing is giving you guys a little bit of a insight into what it would take to get to a $5 Ripple, so you guys can see what the potential of Ripple is. Now, what if Ripple reaches a $1 trillion market cap? Now, the overall cryptocurrency market hasn't even reached $1 trillion, so that's extremely bullish. But if the growth in the cryptocurrency market continues like it has been going, and we stay on a bull run, which would be eventually leading to a potential bubble. But if we were to stay on that trajectory, as you can see over the last year, um, look at $24 billion market cap for cryptocurrency, currently sitting at 562 billion. Could we reach $1 trillion market cap for the cryptocurrency market in 2018? It's likely, highly likely, but it could also plow right through that. And so what I'm suggesting is that what happens when we get to a 10 to 15 trillion dollar market cap on cryptocurrency? Where does that leave Ripple? Well, that's what we're trying to understand. What if Ripple were to, and this is only like an extremely bullish hypothetical, but what if Ripple did achieve a $1 trillion market cap? What would the price look like? Well, it would be, I mean, it would be almost a $20 Ripple. It would be over a $20 Ripple, assuming that the circulating supply does not reach the total supply of 100 billion in circulating supply. So the numbers we're giving right now for the circulating supply are 38 billion, right? But we realize that the max supply that's out there is 100 billion. So we have to factor all that into the market cap. But what if it does? What if it does reach $1 trillion market cap? I don't know, in 2020 or 2022, right? What would the price look like? What you could do is you could take this into 1 trillion. That would be a $10 Ripple. So you can see there is some potential. It's extremely bullish. We'd have to stay in a bull market. That's why I say bullish, because if we were to ever go bearish, or the market would suffer for any reason, that would play a major factor. But due to the fact that Ripple is providing a solution to fiat banks, it's kind of like a gateway between fiat and blockchain that's going to kind of make fiat really dependent on blockchain success. So it's going to further solidify the blockchain, and which will eventually probably lead over into a solution, a long-term solution, or a long-term blockchain success. That's where Bitcoin's kind of the wild card here, is because it's hard for bankers to see a utility in Bitcoin for a couple reasons. It's an outdated blockchain source code. It's inefficient. It's high carbon footprint. It's 3 million of the coins have already been lost. I mean, you could see why bankers like Jamie Dimon or any banker globally, when they talk about Bitcoin in particular, they don't see the value in it as a currency, but they do see a value in the blockchain. And that's where things like Ethereum and Ripple come into the equation. Okay. That's why technologies like this could end up being less less price action, but more security for you, the investor. Because Ethereum and Ripple, even IOTA. I mean, there's a couple. This EOS. These appear to they don't necessarily have the same boom bust potential that Bitcoin has, the store of value, so to speak, but they seem to be the safer investments right now. I mean, Ethereum. It's taken Ethereum a long time to double in value. I mean, it doesn't grow very fast. It just kind of keeps going up. Just like you see, it's pulls back, and then it goes up, and it pulls back, and it goes up, and then it kind of slows down, and then it goes up, and then it might pull back, and then it goes up. So it's a slow grower. It's like an oak tree. It's been the seed was planted in August 2015, and it didn't really do much, and then it just started to grow. It's like a little baby tree. We don't know if it's going to make it, and then it starts to make it, and then it kind of hits growing pains, becomes a teenager. I guess that's where we're at with Ethereum right now. We're like looking at it as a teenager, and Ripple, the utility in Ripple, what it's doing with the blockchain and connecting banks and fiat world with the blockchain, it really is solidifying itself as a valuable cryptocurrency to hold. So I'm not personally buying any more Ripple at this price because I already took out a core position because it was really easy to buy a lot of Ripple when it was at 25 cents, 20 cents. So for me, I'm like, well, I'm already in there. If I were to start buying any more, I guess I could, but I'm looking for the next Ripple. I'm looking for the next cryptocurrency that's going to get into the top 20 and dethrone some of these other ones that are in the top 20. Like, could NEM get dethroned? Could Monero get dethroned? Could Bitcoin Gold get dethroned? Could Neo, Quantum, Stellar? And I say yes. I mean, we've seen the rise of Lisk, and we're looking for the next Lisk even, and that's why we've been talking about Rise. That's how we found Rise, because we were looking for the next Lisk, and that's how I found it. And if you look here, when I first started talking about Rise, it was at like in the 20-cent range. Now it's sitting at 149 because I was looking for the next one. Well, what's the next Ripple, right? There's Stellar Lumens, but it's really hard to say what's the next Ripple because I don't really see one right now. But in the world of social media, all it would take is Facebook or Twitter or one of these other large social media channels to pick up, to get in there. So let's say Ripple gets in with the banks, and then one of these other microtransaction payment processors like Kin, if Kin gets in there with one of the large social media groups, which I don't know if their team is even sophisticated enough to close a deal like that, or even buddy enough, but I'm just putting that out there. If Kin were to befriend the likes of Facebook or YouTube or Twitter, one of them or all three of them, it could quickly have its utility drive this price way high. But that would be a far-fetched investment hope. But maybe it's Redcoin, right? I mean, Redcoin claims to be doing that. Could Redcoin be the one that's going to get in there? We don't know. Could it be Kin? We don't know. Could it be one we haven't even heard of yet? I mean, we're looking at these microtransaction payments. Could it be Digibyte? Basic attention token? We don't know. So, could it be Dent? No, that's a mobile carrier. They have a high total supply though. They could become the Ripple of the mobile sector, right? Give them a couple years, and who knows where Dent could take that, especially with as active as they are. Another token that I've seen that I've got my eye on is this Simple token. I've pointed it out a couple times. It has a low circulating supply and a low total supply, but it's brand new. But I've definitely got my eye on this one, and I'm willing to hold this one for a year, because where it is now and where I think it's going is going to be a world of difference. That's my projection. So anyways, guys, what's your thoughts on Ripple? Like I said, you can follow us on Twitter, altcoinbuzz.io. We are growing pretty fast. You can also follow us on Instagram at altcoinbuzz and follow us on our channel here. And we'll see you guys next time.